Yeah, one of those days. It's pouring rain. Here you go, Eddie Bear. Turn that off and eat that. It's pouring rain here in Ontario, and it's cold. It's cold. It can't be much above zero. And that will be it for the day, for the most part. No jogging, no training today. So kind of a quiet day. It's one of these boring days, and for those of you out there that are like me, that are always on the go, and you're always kind of wired in tight, it really is a difficult day because there's nothing to do, and I'm just left wondering what to do. Now, I didn't get to the movies last night, so maybe I'll take my family to the movies this afternoon and see if they'd like to go. We'll see how that plays out. But for right now, I'm going to head over to the barn really quick. A couple little horses I want to check on. Nothing serious. Just want to see if they ate. Brace for Landing trained pretty hard yesterday. I want to see if he ate everything and then ate again this afternoon. It's getting a little late in the morning. So see if he eats a little bit more this afternoon. Stay close trained yesterday. Did he eat? How did he come out of his training mile? Things of that nature, I guess. Just how are the horses today? I want to look in every stall. Did they all eat? Do they all look sharp? Do they all feel good? That's important this time of year for both 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds getting ready to race, and horses that have been racing. Addie, can you turn that down? A little disappointed with Red Overbach last night, but I'm surprised he got him out of the gate as well as he did. But for a horse that is a little bit of a bleeder and has been known to bleed, and did bleed a little bit last night, 27.56 on the front end, maybe not his cup of tea. It seems like all of his best miles were kind of let him float from the gate, see how he gets away, and then race him accordingly. Again, 55 last night. The horse maybe isn't even ready to go there yet. I thought we had probably his best miles of his life. He's one of these times you're not going to hear me say this that often, but Red Overbach, probably some of the best miles of his life were the ones that we had with him not that long ago, right? One of the 91 and 53. Now, he can make it back there. He didn't get turned out under any circumstances of lameness or soreness, so I suspect he'll come back to there. But a little flat last night. 57 maybe is what he trotted, but really weak and flat on the end of it. So where do we go from here? A few changes we can make, a few things we can do. I think being a little more conservative at the start with him might help. And quite frankly, when I saw Louis get away on the front, I was pretty excited. I thought that he was probably going to go a good mile, and I was wrong. So all of what I just said is completely in hindsight, because at the time, in real time, I was actually okay with the way he drove the horse. So this video is, as you can hear the rain coming down, this video is about, I was going to start with the 2-year-olds, but I may as well start with the racehorses since we started with Red Overbach. What's going on with them? When are they going to race? How are they going to race? Now, we do have some of them racing tonight, so I'm not going to do my opening until tomorrow. It's always a gamble, right? And they're not in easy tonight. Gandalf's in up a class and a little bit tough. More Than You Know is in with that colt of James's that won last week, so he's in tough. JK Victory, although the mile was decent and better last week, he's still in with some gatekeepers, so no gimmies there for him just right away. And then Hunted House, James picked over him, so obviously he's in a little tough. So none of the 4 we're racing tonight on Saturday night are going to the gate as suspected winners. They have a chance. Every single one of the horses racing tonight has a chance to win. A chance to win. If I was going to say who has the best shot, William Hanover looks like a tough opponent in with Gandalf the Black, but I think he has the best shot tonight. Hunted House has an outside shot. JK Victory, I know James was much more optimistic about him last week after the race than he was going into the race, so I suspect he'll be a little more aggressive with him tonight. And if you look at his times, if you pitch away that qualifier at the Meadowlands, 54, 54, 52 last half and 55 in a piece last week, so getting better on paper, but still yet to beat a horse in Canada. So we're looking for improvements for him. And then More Than You Know, I think he'll be handy tonight. Probably land, drop, finish up good. He'll snag some money also. but that colt of James is coming off two pretty vicious-looking victories where James had covered him to the bitter end. I think he's probably sitting on an even better mile tonight, so more than you know, an uphill battle, but lots of chances. And then Odds on Delray this afternoon, going to race in a couple hours. He's got the same type of a chance too. I think he's like 4-1 or 9-2 or something. So all of our horses racing today are in the mix, but none that you're like, that horse should win tonight. Oh my God, I forgot about Locatelli. There's our best shot of the night. Locatelli from Post 9, as I said to everybody, I think the calendar is missing a horse. As I said to everybody this week, the 9-hole looks bad, but this is a staggered gate, and Locatelli, this is a good spot. This is a good spot for him to be leaving from. From the outside, to be able to survey all the commotion coming out of the gate. If James can land on the front or in the 2-hole, I think Locatelli's got a big shot tonight. So he does have a very good shot. I apologize. Racing in the final of the New Holland Series news an afterthought. One of those days. So Locatelli, our best shot tonight, Gandalf. But again, all of our horses today in the mix. So let's get to all of the horses. There are some updates. There are some horses teetering on departure. Also, we'll talk about some of them. Atlas Hanover, certainly not one of those. He's got 10 days in the field now. I'm counting every single day. On the 21, 22 days, he's coming back to Northfield, going to get back to work. I plan on having horses at Oak Grove Raceway, Oak Grove, whatever they call it. I plan on having horses at Oak Grove at some point, either in the latter part of April or early part of May. I do plan on racing some 2-year-olds in the stake races there in June. So I plan on being in Oak Grove myself also. Nice racetrack, nice place to race. Reminds me a lot of Georgian Downs. But I think that I just looked, the purses are high too. The open trot goes for 24. Obviously the open pace does. I don't think Atlas Hanover's an open pacer, but he's in the mix in the conditions down there. Honestly, a horse that I would have to, and it won't be immediate for him if it is, but Sintra, I mean, is he going to be able to race around amongst the open classes at Woodbine? No, I think he's just below the open is where he'll be able to. Remember, this horse is getting a little long in the tooth too. Can't stay a razor sharp forever. He gave us quite a ride last year, and not asking him to overextend would be a feather in his cap. Now, does that mean that he goes to Oak Grove? That's a possibility. But it depends how he is too. If we find a way to race him up and down the classes in a place where we can race him and not waste starts, then hey, by all means. I know that Harry would love to keep him here because he's a nice horse. So that's very likely. I don't think you're going to see No Free Lunch going anywhere. Harry's got a real good handle on this guy, and we got a real good look at his issues, what they are, and how we can mitigate them. Having him here riding up and down those classes makes a lot more sense than Sintra, quite frankly. And if they both can, then that's fine too. Patrick the Piranha, he's going to Massachusetts. He trained great the other day. He's getting, I'd say, another 10 days of galloping him. And we'll either put him in the race bike or just qualify him twice, maybe. I'm probably leaning towards the latter with him. What else do we got? Number of good horses. The JK horse is going to stay here, obviously. We're going to untie some knots in him and try and get him on the straight and narrow. So Harry's Burn's going to stay strong, but do we have horses that can go down to Oak Grove for the open trot and trotting classes? Absolutely. Per Lucky is a horse. Now he's in a great class tomorrow night, picked to win, I think, at Northfield. But as he starts to get up in that open and even backup class categories, is there a better place? Now, the problem with Oak Grove is we need to survey the landscape first. If we just send horses down there, they're kind of marooned. You're in the middle of nowhere. You're a good 6.5 hours probably from Northfield Park. You're a good 3 from, you're more than that. It's 2 to Lexington, another 2 to Oak Grove. It's a haul. It's almost 8 hours from Northfield, a long haul from Ontario. So it's not like you can just send them down there and say, "Oh, that didn't work. Guess we'll go somewhere else." There's nowhere else. Southern Ohio or a long ship back to Northfield. So the ones that we put there, we want to make sure they can do there. Now, a horse like Dustin Hanover, probably going to fit there in those middle numbers of 3, numbers of 4, numbers of 5 conditions. That would be a good place for him, I would imagine. So there's a horse that makes sense. So let's start right from the top. I spent 9 minutes and 55 seconds, and I talked about one horse so far. Sorry about that. Atlas Hanover. That's where he's likely going to end up. We're going to have him back soon. Blue Tesla, as far as the departure goes, she's got one more start. I know Mark said she's a little tied up, scoped a little sick. Let's see if we can get her right. She throws one more of those starts in, she's gone. So we'll see how she races. This is it. All of her chips are pushed into the middle of the table, so to speak. So we'll see how Blue Tesla races this week. As I said, Dustin Hanover. Nowhere's the 3 at the Meadows is next start, and then we'll go either Nowhere's a 4-claimer, or if we've already headed down towards Oak Grove with a string of horses, then those horses, he'll be on that truck, I would imagine. So lots of places to race him. He'll go to Northfield first, probably for a start or two after the Meadows, and then we'll go from there. HL Ballou is training well. I get constant updates from Mark about HL Ballou. He's been in 219, I believe, with him. He figures he's going to be ready in 5 weeks. Knowing Mark, I'm going to say 7. But we'll see. We'll see. HL Blue's training down good. How the hell looked good the other day? I galloped a mile in 2.7. Now, that's not training a mile in 2.7. Galloping them is not quite the same. But it helps get their cardio up. It helps get their work in. And he looked very good the other day. Very happy with the way he's been going. Hunted House looks great. Continues to look great. Another horse, if he runs into any sort of trouble here, is there a spot at Oak Grove for him? And again, that's not me saying that. That's a question, and that's food for thought. J.K. Mickey Mantle, again, another horse. If we get him back and he finds that he's in a little tough before we're forced to price him, we do have other options. J.K. Victory, I think you're going to see him come forward. You know, I truly appreciate the patience from our clients. You guys, you know, we're all big boys and girls, and you understand that just because we buy a horse for a lot of money does not mean that he's going to make that immediate impact that we wanted, that we bought him for. What are our options? Are limited because he's a big track horse. There's that. But at the end of the day, I think there's still lots to offer, lots being offered here from J.K. Victory. I think you're going to see a resurgence from him. We have a handle on what his issues are and how to mitigate them, and I think you're going to see a better effort this week and even more better efforts in the future from him. Looks like Money is getting back. He's close. He was only out for 2 weeks, I think. Harry likes to keep them close to the burn. He was only out for a couple of weeks. He's back going now. Red Overbach, yeah, a light in the end of the mile last night, but there's lots that we can do about that. Overall, I like the way he was trotting, though. We do obviously have to work on his overall body of work. 57's not going to cut it, so we're going to have to get him back down into the 55 range. Renegade Gypsy is getting close also. I suspect he'll school in a week or so. Resolute Bay qualified yesterday. He's ready to go now. Stonebridge Acadi, another horse. You know, a lot of these horses, now that Oak Grove opens up, I just want to get a look at the landscape and say, yeah, we have horses. I'm not going to send them there hoping they'll do. I want to know when they land, they can compete. And I think to do that, we're going to have to watch the first couple of weeks of Oak Grove very, very closely. And Stonebridge Acadi's on the list. You know, he's racing in that condition claimer class. And if we find that it's tough for him in there, I think he can compete in there. If it's tough for him in there and we don't have a class, and obviously we have the option to move him. But we'll see. No training today, honey. Look, it's raining everywhere.
Yeah, we don't want to tell my mom that.
Okay, we won't tell your mom.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. I think the secret's out. So Stonebridge Acadi, we'll see how that plays out. Unbeatable Kemp. I think you're going to see an even better race from Unbeatable Kemp. We made a few little shoeing tinkerings, just minor adjustments with him. But I believe, you know, for him to trot in 55 with James being very protective of him the whole way, if we can cut him loose, he should be able to get to that 53, 54 level because the speed is there. And I believe that he's ready to go a good mile this next start. World for Two is way down in class. Fifth and onwards and nothing. So I said, well, we got to get his confidence up. I don't want to use that win, but we have to get his confidence up. So we put him in that bottom class and we'll work forward from there. Yo Mister attended to that splint. He'll race next week and into the series. Good as him is Healing. He might actually come up here to swim. Stacy said that he was getting a little porky. So we can't work them with a foot, but we can in the pool. So there was no pools in her immediate area. So rather than sending him out to have somebody else swim him, the pool is literally that barn you can see in the corner with the white behind corner of Amy's car there. That's the pool. So we can definitely swim them here. Locatelli racing Saturday night tonight and has a pretty good shot in that final, I believe. No free lunch. He's getting close. I saw him training yesterday. I don't know how fast he went with him, but he's getting close. She's a Sassy Beach. I believe she's in to go this week. Megan's just got to find a class where she can do full time, which shouldn't really be that hard to do. Stay Close is training now. I didn't like the way he looked, kind of rickety, but he's put weight on. Plus, is that vision an issue? I think it's just a matter of tinkering here and there, stripping him down and saying, okay, here's a new horse named Stay Close. What do we got to do with him? And then he'll be ready to go. Kings County breeding and training, so he's back soon enough. He'll be back racing. White Tiger, he'll train hard here probably Tuesday. I'd say a mile in 2 minutes or 2:1, and then back in to go. Mohawk's off next week. Hey, easy. Mohawk's off next week. They don't race for the next week. They're fixing the lighting system at Mohawk. So Saturday is the last day, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday they're off. Back racing next Saturday. White Tiger's class usually goes on the Monday. Patrick de Piranha, as I said, getting really strong. I galloped him the other day, a mile 59 last half and 55 at Northfield. For him, that's a walk in the park. He wasn't even blown when he came in. Playing in a stall, ate all his mashup, so he's feeling good. Another couple of stiff training miles, and then we'll just put him in and qualify him. He's a weird horse to work through, but we're getting there with him. I think I got a handle on what he's all about now and how he operates. So we'll qualify him a couple of times, send him right to Plain Ridge or race him once here. I'll leave that up to Mark and Melissa when he's ready to arrive. Per Lucky's got the rail where he races. The great thing is we have him back good now, and I think a horse like him, even though he's a little bit older, can still grind out some good money. He's sound. Jason has him feeling so good. So what we want to do with him, the sky's the limit for this guy. We can do whatever we want with him. Odds on Delray's been a pretty nice acquisition. Megan's done a great job with him. Again, another horse, just get him in where he can do good. Looks like he's in a good spot today. Took a dive off Dipper, coming off a win. So again, Jason's got a pretty good handle on this guy. And Sintra. Sintra's going to be back very soon. I know Harry said he was about 2 weeks away. That was a week ago. I suspect they'll probably school him next. Oh, there's no qualifiers next Friday, so you can't school him. Maybe I'll train him here, or maybe it'll be the week after. I'm not sure. Or maybe they'll have the qualifiers on Monday. So a week from Monday. That would be helpful if they did that. So there's your aged horses. I'm going to go into the barn and check in a couple of our horses and the aged horses, and keep doing the 2-year-old, 3-year-old videos. And I won't do my opening till Sunday. I do want to see the horses race today. So with that, I'll let you go. Stay out of the rain. Stay dry. Take care.